and particularly Paul Murphy, to make this historical hearing a possibility. It is an important hearing for us in a way, while thousands of people's voices are silenced. And it is a first opportunity since the war for all of us to come and express the suffering that took place and then taking place, but also asking for action to be taken. And in that sense, thank you very much. And as I said, we should know that it's been 2 years since the so-called end of war, which seen a massacre took place within a few weeks of period. And since even then, even now, about up to 100,000 people still in detention camps, and 20,000, up to 20,000 young people are still in prison. And all the evidence, we heard a number of evidence, a number of points made here regarding still the existence of emergency law, the PTA, and then justice, the inability of justice system to deliver in Sri Lanka as well. And the genocide slaughter continues. Before I carry on in terms of talking about what can be done, I'd like to also make one point here to note for the Tamil and other press here, as well as everyone here, that in terms of solidarity, or people here, that we don't subscribe to any violence or any terrorist methods, as we understand that the Sri Lankan government is taking kind of a propaganda step against us, saying that we support terrorism in order to shut us down. Any voice that is going to come up, and they wanted to shut us down by accusing us of terrorism. So I'd like to note here that we don't subscribe to any terrorism. In the past, we also objected to the methods of LTT and so on. So, having said that, we are not in any way fearful of this propaganda. We know that if any action is being taken like this, there will definitely be an opposition and propaganda from the Sri Lankan government. We will have to fight it with the help of people present here and media and etc. Moving on to the kind of possible actions that can take place. I mean, we have seen quite a lot of the reports and everything published. I mean, it's welcoming. It's an important thing, but also I think we feel here that it's not sufficient for us. It's not really expressing the aspiration of the Tamil-speaking people in the country. But also, it's not sufficient in a way, in the face of such a huge massacre, just the words is being spoken, or just the pretense, and all those things are not sufficient enough for us. So we wanted to make sure that our voices are heard, our ideas are expressed, and also taken into consideration in terms of decision making in an international bodies. It's not just some, all these international bodies, such as European Union, I think it's European Union, or more in the case of United Nations, they all consult the states, including the Sri Lankan states. They all consult the representative of this oppressing nation. But what they don't do is to consult the people, the oppressed people, and they are the victims. And in that sense, and a hearing like this, we need to organize more of these and make sure that the people who makes these decisions, which has meaningful result in the lives of thousands of people. So we must be heard, and our voice should be represented. In the sense, we, in consultation with the GUI group here, would like to propose this resolution which is being circulated. I hope that by end of this hearing that we all agree to this, and also expect that, of course, the Paul Murphy here would support it. The another MEP earlier expressed support, but also the GUI group as a whole could support, but also Heidi here, chair of the Human Rights Committee here, who also expressed her support in some of the demands, which of course we expect to deliver. And I will just basically go through some of the points that's made in the resolution. In order to save time, I will not go into the details of it, as everybody would know here the kind of the resolution probably went through everybody. And if you don't have one, please do ask here, then we can provide one more, a few more. And it actually outlines. It's a very basic, actually, in a way. It outlines the historical attacks taking place against Tamil-speaking people in the country, and also pointing out how it's intensified immensely recently. But also pointing out to the evidence that's credible evidence that proposed on that came up on the UN report, but also pointing to the Channel 4 News and the incredible evidence given by the Mannar Bishop in Sri Lanka to the so-called LLC commission, which we already discussed how fake that was. Even in that place, a voice heard indicating that even up to 150,000 people are not accounted for. And also, what we call for, is the People's Tribunal consisting of accountable representatives, not just the government-appointed representatives, but accountable representative of the working and poor people from the communities. This has to come from the victim. They have to have a say in how it is run, chosen by them and observed by international human rights and trade unions. We also support the international body to be set up to assist with this process. We support that, and I would like to hear. We would like to proceed in terms of how we can set up and all those things and etc. And there's just another point. There are a few points made in terms of a very basic human rights. We are not demanding here an extraordinary right for Tamil-speaking people in the country. It's a very basic rights that we demand, such as right for basic democracy, right to speak, freedom of speech, and etc. So it's quite necessary to put it in a resolution, put it up there to ask, because these are grossly denied to the majority of the people. So that is, and it is not a difficult thing for everybody to agree. Either they are Tamil-speaking people or any part of the on behalf of any part of oppressed people in the world. These rights should be just basic rights, basic needs. So we wanted to agree on those basics, but also want to point it out the idea, or we also wanted to raise out the opposition to the setting up free trade zones, where the government is proposing as a rehabilitation, taking all these young prisoners, taking them to the free trade zone and making them work there for literally nothing, really acute exploitation, rather than giving them doctors and treatments and facilities like that. They want them to push them to work in the free trade zone, which will be acute exploitation. So we wanted to raise our opposition in that, and also in order to support the trade union initiative, in order to oppose that in Sri Lanka as well. But also there is a point about the military. I'm just quickly running through about, it is basically the north and east, majority, the part of the north and east is an open prison camp. So we want all these camps, if the war is over, the so-called peace exists, what's the point of keeping these camps and intimidating all those people again and again? So we want that to be removed as well. But finally, on the just quick point, is on the support for this right to self-determination. Right to self-determination is a right of people when they are oppressed by national minorities. It should be respected. We wanted to make that note. And finally, is very important as well, is that we ask for a delegation, which the MEPs here and the officers here represented their already given their support, I guess, that GUI NGL fact-finding delegation to be sent to Sri Lanka. The reason behind that, like other speakers mentioned earlier, is that so far the missions that whatever fact-finding teams went to Sri Lanka did not have a representation from the minority speakers, but also or from the Tamil-speaking people, but also they just took by the army and visited certain particular places, and the report is not a reflection of actually what is taking place. And we believe that with these particular delegations, with our help, and we'll have the seriousness of actually bringing out the real truth. In that sense, and we ask the support and also ask the great delegation to be appreciated. Thanks.